What if I told you that according to Bleacher Report, the number one WWE wrestler of all time was not John Cena? It's not Stone Cold Steve Austin. It's not The Undertaker. Hell, it isn't even Hulk Hogan. It's someone else, and we are going to get into that with this episode of the podcast. I'm Mark Izzo, he's Dillon O'Brien, and we are your hosts. And on this episode, we are diving into Bleacher Report's recent article.
Jesus Christ. Sorry. Got a dog freaking out in this room.
We will be diving in to Bleacher Report's article about the 50 greatest WWE wrestlers of all time. I've looked over this list a little bit. Dillon's going in blind, so we'll get his immediate reactions to everything, to some of these potential hot takes.
He's going crazy on his stuffed animal, sorry.
Hell yeah.
Some of these hot takes, some of these different.
Yeah, there's a few of them that are a bit spicy that I know I had an issue with, and I think you're going to have an issue with too. So without further ado, let's dive in to the 50 greatest WWE wrestlers of all time. All right, so there's a few things here that we're going to go over. Now, this is sort of the criteria, the checklist that they went through to make this list. So you've got historical significance. Did they have a meaningful impact on the history of WWE? You've got championships. Were they among the most decorated in company history? You've got popularity. How over was the superstar with WWE fans? You've got needle mover. Did they make a meaningful difference in ratings, ticket sales, and overall business? You've got time active. Was the superstar successful over a sustained period, or were they just a flash in the pan? You've got pay-per-view appearances. Were they fixtures on the biggest shows in WWE? And then you have skills, in-ring, mic, charisma. Were they more than just a wrestler? Does their skill set stop at the microphone? Were they charismatic? Now, again, another thing they wanted to note is that the names on the list were ranked based solely on their accomplishments in WWE. For example, the majority of Ric Flair's 16 world titles were won away from the company and were not taken into consideration when discussing his feats in this countdown. So they are taking just the work for WWE that these wrestlers have done. Now, I'll tell you this. Before we get into the list, I'm going to give you a few people that I think got robbed that are not on this list. All right?
Okay.
Now Dillon, you can give me your reaction to this as well. I've got 3 wrestlers who are not on the list that I think should be. Number 1 is going to be Sheamus.
Okay.
I think Sheamus, I could make an argument Sheamus is one of the top 50 WWE wrestlers of all time. He's not on the list. You've got The Miz. I will argue with anybody that The Miz is a top 50 WWE wrestler of all time.
50's a good amount.
And then you've got the last person who I think is probably the most shocking is JBL, not on the list. So there's 3 people that I think got robbed. So let's move on. We're going to kind of like go through these, and then we'll kind of stop and talk about which wrestlers we think are in a good or bad spot with their numbers. Again, everything sort of matters based off of who's ranked higher than them. So, at number 50, we've got The Big Show. Fair, not fair, unbiased. What do you think?
I think it's an all right start for right now. I think The Big Show deserves to be a top 50 list. He deserves to be in the 50.
And then coming in at number 49, we've got Lita. I think she should be a little bit higher.
Agreed.
What do you think? Yeah.
Yeah.
So
I
Lita's
would
at
agree
49. Again, it all kind of depends on who's farther up on the list. Coming in at number 48 is Vader. That's fine. It's tough for us to comment on these older wrestlers who we didn't really watch growing up, but I know Vader.
Yeah, who we didn't get to watch in their prime. But I mean, Vader's impact, he should definitely be on the top 50 in with his kind of like pop culture impact alone. He was significantly well known.
Yeah, and he had, a big career outside of WWE, even though they're not really counting that. You've got 47, Dean Ambrose, now going by Jon Moxley.
Okay. All right, so this is kind of the first taste of a newer era type guy and where he's going to be. I mean, him being on this list is really cool, I think. I think depending on who is off the list, maybe he might have potentially could even be left off the list just based off the length of his run. But I love me some Dean Ambrose, so I'm cool with it as of now. And as far as the 3 members of the Shield, he should definitely be 3.
Yeah, it's interesting. Yeah, and we'll see where the other 2 guys rank because, spoiler, they're both obviously in the top 50. Number 46, AJ Styles.
Okay, now, do you rank AJ Styles? Would you say his WWE career has been better than Dean Ambrose?
I would say no.
Yeah,
I would say Dean Ambrose had a better WWE career. I don't know if take or not, but if you just go like based off of everything that Dean Ambrose has done,
I think the Shield is such an impactful thing that holds so much weight in my head. But it's not, I'm not gonna like lose sleep over it. But yeah, let's keep it going.
Number 45, you got Asuka.
Okay. I'm happy that she's on this list.
That one's interesting. I am too. I think this is probably a good spot for her. In the 40s, mid 40s. You could probably make the argument to move her up higher. You could probably make the argument to move her up lower. So I think that 45 seems like a good spot for Asuka. So again, I didn't realize how much like accomplishments she had in WWE. They have the accomplishments for all of the wrestlers that are in the top 50 on in the article as well. But moving on, 44, Kofi Kingston.
Nice.
I like it. Put some respect on his name.
Okay with that.
And then you've got coming in at number 43, Jeff Hardy.
Interesting. I mean, Jeff Hardy did have a great WWE career, even though it was probably, things outside influences, got in the way of, at times, of making it, even bigger than what it was. But, the peaks were definitely high for Jeff Hardy.
Yeah. And he had a great solo run, as you can see by all of his accomplishments. Yeah. So, coming in at number 42 is Ravishing Rick Rude. Seems like a fine spot. I don't hate it. I would be interested to get someone who was watching wrestling during like these older guys' prime to sort of get their take on it. But again, obviously I've seen some stuff by Rick Rude. I know he had a big impact, but 42 seems fine. It's about as much as I can comment on that. Yeah. So, 41, Sasha Banks.
All right.
I think she should.
Good. I think that she should potentially even be higher. Just because of the significant impact that she made. But I guess I can't be too mad. I kind of thought they were gonna like leave a lot of these newer people off this list entirely. So I'm kind of happy to even see them all in there to begin with.
Yeah, I think she should be moved up a little bit. But coming in at number 40 is superstar Billy Graham. Fine. I thought he potentially would have been a little higher. I know that he's like a pretty big.
I feel like
legend,
most of his
day.
I feel like most of his work was outside of WWE though. I could be wrong.
Yeah, probably. Yeah. And then you've got number 13. I thought was interesting. Rob Van Dam.
Mm.
What do you think about that? That one stuck out to me.
I'm very happy with that. I would even I think a lot of people would argue that some part of me is a little bit surprised that he's on the list. But I mean, he was pretty active in the Attitude Era. I mean, he's just such an ECW guy. So I just don't think WWE when I think Rob Van Dam. I think ECW. But I mean, yeah, he is an all-timer. And it's a shame that, I mean, who knows, dude, because his WWE title run also could have been, his entire career at WWE could have been so much more probably if he didn't have that run in when he was the WWE champion and got arrested or whatever.
Yeah. I mean, I was definitely surprised that they put him this high, but I mean, I'll take it. 39.
Yeah, I'm cool
Rob
with
Van
it.
Dam.
I'm a bit surprised by it, but I'm cool with it.
Yeah. 38. Owen Hart. I feel like you could potentially move him up higher.
Yeah, agreed. We'll see where don't know where the rest of this is gonna go, but I feel like you could definitely move him up.
So 30 is Mr. Perfect. I love me some Mr.
Okay.
Perfect. I'll tell you that.
Yeah.
I mean, you talk about a guy who had it. He had the swag. It's Mr. Perfect. This is where I think this next one kind of was shocking. You've got number 36, Batista. I feel like he should be a little higher.
Yeah, he could definitely be a little higher. But I think in this situation, I guess the length is like really it's that like he was what, like less than 10 years of a real like prime, you know what I mean?
Yeah. But I mean, I guess I'm probably just a little bit biased because I grew up watching Batista when we were kids. Number 35, you got the Ultimate Warrior.
Okay, I would
Fine.
think that he might even be higher, but I feel like it depends where. Like, I'll have to see the rest of the list, obviously.
Yeah, I was shocked that he wasn't a little higher, but I guess personally, I'm fine with Ultimate Warrior being at number 35. Now, moving on to number 34, you got Ricky Steamboat. Again, I think this is a guy who did a lot of his work outside of WWE, but I know he is an absolute legend in the game. So, again, 34, I'm fine with it. What do you think?
Yeah, I'm okay with that. I think in ring-wise, he's pretty revolutionary. But like I said, it's a little harder for us to grade some of these guys that we didn't get to watch in their prime and stuff like that.
Yeah, completely agree. 33, Booker T.
Yeah, love me some Booker T. Happy that he was.
Hell yeah.
He's up on this list. I mean, that King Booker run really did like reboost his entire career. So that's awesome,
Totally.
Man. Good for Booker T.
Yeah, I'm happy Booker T's there. And then following that, 32, you got Jake the Snake Roberts. Fine. I'm fine with it, I guess.
Okay.
What do you think? You think it's fine?
Yeah, I'm fine with that.
I mean, he had a big impact on like the culture and wrestling. Like you talk to older wrestling fans, or you just talk to like anyone who was alive during that time. Everyone kind of knows Jake the Snake Roberts. He's a good reference for a lot of people. especially wrestling. 31, you've got Kane. Ooh.
Interesting.
I thought he may have been
potentially a little high for Kane. You thought he might have been higher? I feel like it might be a little high for Kane.
Yeah, I know they get.
Maybe I'm tripping.
I mean, hey, I'm not going to argue with that. I just.
Yeah.
I mean.
Yeah, let's see what's next. Once we get to
I know that
top
a lot of
20,
people really like Kane. Well, that's when things get interesting, sort of once we crack a few of these next ones. 30, you got Razor Ramon.
Okay.
I think that's a pretty good spot.
So he's got to be top 30. Yeah, I think that's a solid spot.
And then at number 29, you've got Trish Stratus.
I'm cool with it, but there might not even be. She's probably the highest woman on the list. No, there's probably she's not. Yeah, because there's other people definitely on the list, but potentially even higher, man. Like Trish was.
I think she could be higher.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
she's she had a. Yeah, I mean the first sentence right there. There would be no women's revolution
iconic,
without Trish Stratus.
Legendary, trailblazing. Number 28, you've
China. Okay. Yeah, I mean, she definitely needs to be in that list, so I'm cool with that. Rest in peace. I agree.
And then 27, Charlotte Flair.
Okay. All right.
I think I could make the argument she should be a little higher.
So Bayley's not on the list, is she?
No.
Okay.
So, I don't know. I think I could make the argument that she should be higher than that, but I guess it's not a terrible spot for her. Maybe once her career is done, she'll be higher than that. And then coming in at number 26 is Seth freaking Rollins. What do you think about Seth at 26?
That means they have Becky higher than Seth.
Sure do. I think 26 is pretty good for Seth.
She's not. Dude, I feel like it's pretty good. I feel like he might even be able to be higher at this point, though, bro. Like, man, it's been the workhorse of the company for the last decade.
I could definitely make an argument.
Maybe he doesn't have the title runs.
Him being higher than 26. I mean,
agreed.
He's got a lot of title. So then coming at number 25 is Edge.
All right. Maybe Edge potentially could be even higher if he never had to retire. He definitely probably would be.
But I'll say this too.
I mean, I'm happy with this.
You're telling me Edge isn't a top 20?
Yeah, you're probably right. He probably should be higher.
That's all I'm saying.
Let's see.
So then coming in,
damn, and Christian's not on this
24
list.
Christian's is Ric Flair.
Top 50.
Christian is not on this list.
Ric Flair's WWE career.
Ric Flair
should probably
that's a tough
be
one.
Lower than this, honestly. Bro, if we're being honest, his WWE career should probably be lower than this.
I mean, it's tough, dude, because, I mean, his evolution, like, I don't know. I think it's an okay spot. I think that
it's a decent spot.
It would be tough to put him lower.
I get it.
Especially with, like, I don't know. I know that they weren't thinking about, everything that he did outside of it, but obviously there's going to be a little devil shoulder telling you to put him a little higher. 23, Becky Lynch. That's a dub.
Let's go. Very happy with that. I mean, Becky is probably, is there any women higher than her on this list? I'm assuming not.
I don't think so, but I could be wrong.
I can't imagine. I can't imagine who it would be. But
Are you surprised that she's higher than Charlotte?
yeah, honestly, but it makes sense, bro. Like that, I'm only surprised because because that's what WWE has like shoved down my throat to
Yeah,
think. I mean, when it comes to the fans wise and overall and on the mic and stuff, like Becky has Charlotte on the mic by a mile. Like, so I don't know.
yeah,
Yeah, and Becky was a game changer, man. Like Becky Lynch is the reason that the women main evented WrestleMania that year. Like
agreed.
with yeah, she's had such an impact. Like yeah.
Yeah, good, Becky. Really happy about that one. Then 22, one of Dillon's goats, Daniel Bryan.
Nice.
What do you feel
No, I
about
think
that?
this is a decent spot for him, honestly. Yeah, I'm happy with that. I think
it's
that's
a
a
pretty
pretty
good
good
spot.
spot for him. I was expecting to see him honestly into the higher 20s. So I'm very happy with him at 22. There's
Yeah,
definitely going to be some
22.
people
I think is
above
a
him that he's
really
probably better than, but
one. Yeah, I know there's a few people that I was a little shocked at. 21, Triple H. I thought he would have been a little higher.
that feels low, dude. Yeah, I would think Triple H
You
would
know,
be top 10. Wouldn't you think? Triple H would be top 10?
Triple H isn't a top
I mean,
20. He's not even a top 20 WWE
Yeah.
wrestler.
That's pretty crazy.
I mean, come on now.
Let's see who these 20 guys are.
I mean,
I
come
don't
on.
know if I can tell you 20 guys.
Well, especially
the rest of this is just going to be saying people who Triple H should be in the top 20 over. Damn. No Triple H in the top 20. That's rough. What do we got here?
yeah. Number 20, you got CM Punk.
CM Punk. All right. Well, Triple H should be above CM Punk. And that's coming from a diehard CM Punk guy. Like, I love CM Punk. Triple H not being above CM Punk is crazy. But I love Punk. I'm very happy that he's in the top 20 here. I mean, and Punk is a game changer. Like, he really did shift the shit. And Punk, like, really was the only bright spot in an extremely dark time for a lot of people, and a lot of fans. So
Yeah. I think the issue is not that Punk is at 20, but it's that he's higher than Triple H.
yes, exactly.
So let's move on to 18. You've got Randy Orton. I thought he would have been a little higher.
Okay. I would think so too. 15-time world champion.
I'm not mad about it, but I thought he would have been at least top 15.
Yeah, you would think.
So let's move on. Because I think this is when things get a little spicier. Eddie Guerrero's at 18. What do you think about that?
I feel like he should be higher. Eddie Guerrero isn't a top 15 wrestler. 15 top 15. We did have a lot of WCW work as well. I don't know.
And I mean, much too short WWE career also.
Because that's what I'm saying.
He was. I think he only wrestled for WWE for like 5 or 6 years.
Yeah, so I guess that's
he
probably
did
where
work
you put
with
it.
WCW and ECW. So.
Yeah, so that's where I mean, like, I guess that's how he's further back. But with a longer career, Eddie is easily top 15. You would think, right?
With a longer career, you would be top.
Especially. 5. Yeah, you're probably right. Yeah, so.
Because. All right, so then we've got 17, Brock Lesnar.
Okay. Makes sense. Very impactful.
I thought that he would have been. I thought he would have been a little higher.
So would I, but I'm not like mad at him being where he is.
I think it's a good spot.
Yeah.
for me personally with like what I believe with Brock Lesnar. So 16 is Chris Jericho.
Okay. Makes sense. First undisputed champion. Depending on who these 15 are, potentially you would say that Jericho should probably be higher. But we've been saying that for a lot of people so far, so who knows?
I mean, I would put Triple H over Chris Jericho.
Yeah, for sure.
No disrespect to Chris Jericho. But
yeah,
let's move on.
I would put Triple H over Jericho.
15, Mick Foley.
Yeah, I'm cool with that. I just like don't understand why Triple H is so low. Well, Mick Foley's WWE career wasn't even necessarily all that. Like, he was WWE champion, but not a lot. Like, what, 3 times? Yeah, tag team champ. Like, he far more was a...
Like, I think he had, like, a shorter run on, like, the main event scene. And then I think he's kind of just, like...
No, agreed.
...harder, like, reliable guy.
Dude,
so,
Triple
like,
H
I think it's a
being
decent
21
spot,
is crazy.
But Triple H should have been...
Like, why is Triple H so low? Why is Triple H so low? It doesn't make sense.
No idea. Coming in at number 14, you've got Andre the Giant. I'm a little surprised he's not higher.
Okay. I think that's all right.
I'm not mad about it per se. I just thought they would have put him in the top 10.
Yeah. But you
talk about
how the guy couldn't
icons.
Physically do all that much by the time he got to WWE.
Yeah, but it was also like, I mean, you talk about iconic. You talk about a generation. I mean, you talk about monument.
I mean, that's the icon.
You talk about Andre the Giant. But I'm not mad at it. I'm not mad at it at all. 13, Roman Reigns. Think about that. This one's tricky.
There we go. I think I'm cool with it, honestly. I think I'm cool with Roman at 13. I think he maybe hasn't cracked the top 10 yet, but he should maybe he should be a couple spots higher, maybe right around 10. But when it's all said and done, he'll definitely be in the top 10 all time. Maybe even top 5. But
yeah.
He should probably be a few spots higher.
I think that's
he should probably be like 10.
Yeah.
I think 9 or 10 is probably.
I agree with you. Number 12, Rey Mysterio. What do you think about Rey at number 12?
Booyaka, booyaka. The biggest little man. Yeah, depending on who's in this top 10, I'm okay with it, but he deserves to be high up on this list, but I feel like he should potentially probably be top 10. It's Rey Mysterio, man.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. Yeah, I don't know though. How many times has he? We'll see.
I've issues with the top 10, so that's when I think could get a little spicy. Number 11, Kurt Angle.
All right, I can be okay with that for now. Let's get to this top 10.
I think I don't mind him at 11. I have a tough time believing he's not in the top 10. But kicking us off at number 10 is going to be Hulk Hogan.
Okay. All right, he needs to be in the top 10. I get it. So I'm happy it's 10.
I thought he was going to be way higher. So I'm happy with him at 10.
So did I.
Day of the week.
Yeah, I'm happy with that.
Coming in at number 9, you've got Rowdy Roddy Piper.
Nice.
What do you think about that?
Yeah, I mean, dude, honestly, yeah, good. I mean, he's probably one of, if not the best guys to touch a microphone. And he was no slouch in the ring. Very, very, very. He was like Roddy Piper was so many people's favorite wrestler, and that's
he was my dad's favorite wrestler,
and he was so many people's most hated wrestler, and that shows you how amazing he was. So.
Yeah, I'm surprised that he's in. I'm not mad at it. I'm just surprised that they put him in the top 10. But I'm down with it. So let's move on to number 8. You've got Shawn Michaels.
Heartbreak Kid should probably be top 5.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not going to argue with you. I think Shawn Michaels being at 8 and Triple H being at whatever Triple H was at 21
is crazy.
I'm fine with him being top 10. I think he probably should be top 5, but I'm not going to stress about it too much. This one's shocking. Number 7, you've got The Rock. What do you think about that? Thought he would have been higher. I think he should be higher.
I thought he would have been higher, but if he is higher, it shouldn't be by much more than a couple spots, just because of the length of his.
He should at least be like 5.
Left WWE and yeah, I think 5 or 6, maybe 4. Like for the only reason being he left the WWE in the middle of his prime, like.
Yeah. I mean, just like think about how many people have him on like their Mount Rushmore. That's kind of what I'm thinking about. But moving on to number 6.
Totally.
You've got Bruno Sammartino. What do you think about Bruno at 6?
Yeah, it makes sense. Was champion for 1 billion days or whatever. Obviously, I've never seen him wrestle, but champion for 1 billion days, I can give it to him.
All right, yeah, Bruno, I thought he would have been top 5. I'm a little surprised that he's not top 5, but again, number 6, completely fine with that. The person who is number 5 is a bit shocking to me. Number 5's John Cena.
John Cena doesn't make the top 3? 16-time world champ?
I thought John Cena was going to be number 1.
Yeah, you would think.
I think John Cena should be number 1.
No, I mean, listen. I agree. And I never get too mad at like people being like 1 or 2 or 3 or whatever. It's because it's subjective. Everybody has their different thing. 5 for sure too low. Who's at 4?
No.
I'm trying to even think.
This one's also, 4. You've got The Undertaker.
Okay.
Come on. Undertaker's not top 3.
Come on. Yeah.
Come on.
What
are we doing here? I'm not even going to get too fired up about that. Number 3 is Macho Man Randy Savage.
Mega Powers. Interesting. Dude, it's hard because I didn't get to watch him.
Listen.
But everyone fucking talks like him. So, gotta give it to him.
But I'm not sure you should be ahead of The Undertaker and John Cena. That's all
agreed. I think the accomplishments
I'm going to say.
Are probably.
Number 2. Number 2, you've got Stone Cold Steve Austin.
So who is 1? Who am I missing?
Got any guesses?
It should be obvious at this point.
Maybe not.
On a bit of a blank.
Well, I'll bail you out. Because the number 1, the greatest WWE wrestler, according to Bleacher Report, is Bret the Hitman Hart.
That makes sense. Bret at 1, little high. Seems like a little bit more of like his personal favorite list, especially putting Bret at 1. But I mean, dude, overall, I mean, he was really good. He was really good. But I think, yeah, this, like, the way it worked out, it's just very obvious to me that this just seems like a person. Seems like it doesn't seem like they took the general public into very much consideration. Seems like it was a personal top 50 list. So I'll say that. That's one of my things with Bleacher Report is it's like every time I see a thing from Bleacher Report, it seems like it always ends up being like a personal like top rather than like research put into it. This is why this is like more like general objective information to back it up. Yeah, weird list, especially with Triple H at 21.
I will say that they had a panel of voters for this. They had 6 people who voted.
Still fucking dumb. Triple H should not have been at 21.
Triple H.
Yeah, the biggest crime for sure is Triple H at 21. Triple H should easily be top 10.
I think John Cena and The Undertaker not being top 3. At least one of them should be top 3. Like, again, it's tough for us to sit here and really diagnose the guys who we didn't grow up watching, but I mean, I don't know. It's definitely some question marks on the list, but I don't think it's a terrible list, especially with like other lists involving wrestling that I've seen throughout the industry. But you let us know in the comments down below, who do you think should be higher? Who do you think should be lower in this list? Who would you put at number 1? Let us know in the comments down below. If you're watching on YouTube, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Click that bell in the bottom right corner so you get notified every single time that we release a new video. And you can listen to the Burning Hammer podcast on Apple, Spotify, wherever you listen to your podcast. If you are listening to this, make sure to subscribe and make sure to follow the show, rate, and review it as well. That is the biggest way to help us grow our audience and to help us find new listeners. Now, I'm going to pull back the curtain a little bit because we are in a weird spot right now to where we're recording this prior to WrestleMania. However, it's coming out after WrestleMania. So if you're wondering why we didn't talk about anything that happened at WrestleMania, it's because it didn't happen yet for us. So that's why you need to follow us on all of our social media, because that is where you're going to get your WrestleMania fix from the boys. You can follow us on X at The Burnt Hammer. You can follow us on everything else at The Burning Hammer. With that being said, I'm Mark, he's Dylan, and this has been another episode of The Burning Hammer podcast. We'll catch you next week.